Alright, Ginso. This first room, I do this kind of in a slightly suboptimal way just because it makes it way easier. And the optimal way, I don't even think humans would really be able to save time with it unless they were some kind of superhuman. This spore here, so I jump as soon as I fire the third shot. You really want to make sure you don't get these first two to be a volley. So if anything, you want to kind of delay your second shot a little bit so you can guarantee you can get the three shots off. You can actually, let's see. You can jump when you fire the second shot just fine, but that looks really scary. So I just jump when I fire the third shot. If you do a double jump here, then if you do a double jump up to the log, then I do a ninja jump up to the top of it. Why is my game lagging so hard? But if you, and that's just slightly faster than just doing like no double jump here and then two wall jumps. And then I just do 3 hops here because it's way easier. And then what the? Okay. A lot of people climb this left wall here. It's faster for attacks, but in RTA I actually was not able to save time with it. I was always climbing to the right here faster. So I just vault over here, over this ledge, because it makes you land right to the left of this bulb here, so you can start dashing immediately. Okay. Now telehops. Alright, I'm actually pretty surprised that like just about nobody does telehops, because the general consensus back in vanilla was that telehops were literally free, so I'm going to go over the rhythmic patterns and cues that I use for telehops in hopes that people might be able to come up with a way that makes them easier for them as well, or just steal mine. So to start off, I dash through this portal, just a neutral dash. It puts Ori on the other side. His position on the other side of the teleporter is going to be variable. So what I do is I dash through and then I tap left a little bit and then I jump straight up, and then from there you can kind of see where Ori is. Either, depending on where he lands here, one of two things is going to happen. You're going to either be on the close to the teleporter on this side, like to the right of the teleporter but left side of the screen, or you're going to be to the left of the teleporters on the right side of the screen. Basically, like, you just don't want to be far away from the teleporter, so you kind of want to get this to a point where this input to the left here is kind of half the time moving you through the teleporter and half the time moving you right up against the teleporter, because that's the only way you're going to know that you're right up against it, is when it's like, because you can't really see where you're going to get teleported. I mean, you can, but like this is pretty close, but it's easier to do it by getting a feel for it, getting a good 50-50 ratio there. I really prefer to be on this side though, because if you're on this side, it's less jumps to the teleporter. You only have to do, I think, what is that, 6? I can't really count it while I'm doing it. But if you're on this side, it's shit. It's one extra. If you start it on this side, then you're gonna have to do a double jump here. If you start it on the other side, then you land further up here, so you just do a ninja jump without a double jump. I think I like always, or at least 90% of the time, start it from here. It's just way easier for me. But yeah, the rhythm, so the trick is you want to be tapping your inputs. You want to be tapping left and right and not holding them for too long. And rhythm is the key here. Like, some people do these really fast. Like, I've seen Ike Wolf and Vol'jin do them really fast. I don't like to do them that fast because it completely kills any semblance of consistency for me. Getting a solid rhythm on it that's kind of slow, you'll still make the same gamer cycle, but it'll be way more consistent. So it's like, rather than explain it, I guess like if you just hear the rhythm, like I do it at that speed every time. And that also helps because you probably won't be coming to a complete stop by the time you start the next jump and turn around. You might, I'm not sure, but I found that doing it at a consistent rhythm helps with my consistency a lot more. But yeah, just tap left and right. Make sure you're really close to the teleporter by doing this, just inching back to it after you dash through it. And it's super easy, like, it's literally the easiest trick in the world. That might be an exaggeration, but as soon as I came up with this setup for it, dash through, inch back to the left, and then just do the taps. I at that rhythm, I like never miss it. So I hope to see more people start doing teleops. They're really not hard at all. When you get up here, this gamer over here is going to be in your way. So depending on how fast you are, if he's almost out of your way, then I would just jump over to the right side. If he looks like he's going to be in your way for a while because you went really fast, then I jump up here. This jump is kind of hard to get though. You kind of want to like jump to the right and then do a double jump back to the left. It's kind of risky though. But yeah. Whatever your choice is. Oh, let's see. When you're jumping on these bouncy things like this, there's the way I do it is you can actually, there's a certain number of frames that you can input the jump after bouncing off of them. This works for bounce pads and these green flower bulbs. When I land on it, like I hit jump immediately after, and it doesn't give me a double jump. I think it's actually, does that even matter? I think am I going up to the same height? No, I'm going higher, yeah. Yeah, I just hit jump right after. You're still in that animation, so you don't get the double jump. But you still get the extra heights. So that way you're not like jumping way high to get on top of it, so you don't risk the double jump before you hit it. I just try to do this the jump input immediately after I bounce. Okay, so this thing right here, in my experience route, since I skip the, let's see, I skip the slime and the Frankie at the start of Grotto, and I level up usually on the way down to wall jump. If you level up on the way down to wall jump, then you have to get this bud. If you level up on the way out, then you probably won't have to get this. This is also assuming that you don't do Death Glide. I don't think anyone really does Death Glide. Unless you have 4 HP, then it's not really risky. So then I guess you would, if you did Death Glide, you would probably end up getting this. Unless you... Let me think. If you leveled up on the way out of wall jump and did Death Glide, I think you would be able to skip this. No. I have to get this even when I'm not doing Death Glide. Death Glide is 6 experience lost. This is, I think, 5 experience. Yeah. I don't know. Just assuming that nobody does Death Glide. If you level up going down to wall jump, you have to get this if you're doing my strat at the beginning of Grotto. If you level up on the way out, then you can skip this. So this, I'm pretty sure the fastest way to do this is to just go double jump, and then jump over this way. Not including like the task method of obviously landing right here on this thing. That's kind of crazy. I start holding right there as soon as I go through that teleporter. Alright, this dash glide does not save time, so there's no point in doing that. You can save, let's see, hold on. You can save a few frames by moving this over to the left there. And same thing with it up there. You can save frames on both of them, I mean. It just makes the whole fireball path a little bit shorter. If I have 3 HP here, then I will, if I see the spark over on the right side, I'll actually dash glide and then dash cancel to land on this thing, just to pretty much nullify any time loss you would get from running over there. Sometimes I'll fall on the spikes. You won't lose time there, but if that does happen, then I stop going for that dash glide to dash cancel. Because it does save time, but it's risky if you're at low health. But it is not risky if you're at 3 health. Oh yeah. Okay, so this part. So these two methods are, so you, depending on which key you get first, if you do a dash cancel there to get that one, then I start to move, like I kind of get close to this spiky thing here, and as soon as I'm kind of right here next to it, then I start holding left. If I do it in real time, it'll work out, hopefully. And then I'll land right here. The reason why you want to land right here is because you get more dashing time. You can still do that with this strat. It's just super hard to pull off. Like, I usually just go down there. And the only way to make the strats equal is if you land here and dash with both of them. And it's infinitely harder to do it with this one. Like, it's so hard. Normally you end up having to double jump in the air, which ends up making that strat slower. So I just do it this way because unless you're like a god who can do the other way. Like they're the same speed, but getting the bottom one first is way easier. And if you do this, then if you have to double jump here, then it ends up being slower because you lose this dash here, because you land over here. Okay, so here you want to buffer this save when you're going to land on the ground, but you want to buffer it like as soon as you're coming out of this teleporter. You can buffer it beforehand like this and keep it going through, but sometimes it gets rid of it. It's a glitch and it's really annoying. So, but because you can also input these keys when you're falling, and then you just land. The 4 keys are already in the door, and then you just you get the save off as soon as you land. Do it from back here. Okay, I didn't get the save for some reason. That's what I was talking about. Okay, so what that ghost door does there is it actually resets the fireball cycle up above, so it lets you have a consistent, like, there's in glitchless, when you don't do it, you kind of just gotta play it by the fly, but since this makes it so consistent, you kind of always know where the fireballs are going to be. So the only way to optimize this part is to remove extra bashes. You can remove 2 from what most people normally do, but it's really risky. That would save 40 frames. Or you can just remove one or the other, which is really easy to do and saves 20 frames. I'm good at math. So the first optional one is on that Frankie. Cycle's going to be messed up here now, but if you do it on this Frankie, then you're probably not going to need to bash one of these. So you would just bash over to here without touching any of these down below there. If you... Oh, so I never bash off this Frankie, because once you get to here, you know that if the fireball is like halfway across these spikes or to the right, then that means you can just dash glide across. If it is over to the left, then that means you have to dash into it and bash it. So I'll explain why. So if it's because then that means you, like, let's see, if it's too close to the left here and you don't bash it, you're probably not going to make this. So if it's close to the left, dash bash it, and then you can make it pretty much easily. And if it's over there to the right or in the middle, then you don't have to worry about it. I see a lot of people bash this shot here. That's just a wasted 20 frames, and you can easily avoid it by doing a double jump, like right here when you're next to the ledge, so you don't go high enough up to ever hit it. And that's irrespective of the two, like, no matter what your cycle is like, you never have to bash this thing. That's irrespective of the either or between the Frankie or this thing, depending on what your movement is like. But usually what happens is I'll skip the Frankie, I'll come up here, and then the fireball will be like right here, and I know I have to dash and bash into it to catch the cycle. But if your movement is God tier and it's like over here, then you don't have to. And then you can do that thing that I just screwed up. Just do a double jump. So you land on the ground and then do a dash bash. Into this thing. That's slower, don't do that. What the? The double bash up here is the fastest. Okay, let's see. Oh, alright. It's like if you can do double bashing just fine. It's actually slightly faster to not damage boost here, and then once you get up here, you just like fire Ori into the spikes and then go through the teleporter. Also, if you do it on the second time around, it's faster that time as well to not take the damage boost below. Fire Ori into the spikes, and then boom, just jump up to that lantern. And it's also a little bit faster to not go back to... What the fuck? Keys are gone. It's because of the debug save. I fucked it up. Whatever. After you get this keystone here, you just want to land in here and not go back to this lantern. Yeah. Do I have the keystones? I don't. They're gone permanently. Okay, so for the, let's see, how many keystones am I supposed to have? 7? Yes. So this, for this hyperspeed, you buffer both the dash and the save. So you want to have both held before you hit the ground. The only thing is you want this dash to be like far left over here. If you're on the ground, then that means you can put the keystones in the door, obviously, since you can put the keystones in the door when you're off the ground. So it doesn't matter where you land, just buffer both. Make sure you put all the keystones in before you land. If you're too far right here and you buffer the dash, like you can still get the hyperspeed if you don't buffer the dash, but that makes it so much harder, so I don't recommend it. And that is some... Alright, that is some incorrect layering there. This mushroom that's on the clearly on the foreground is going behind Ori. Dude, that's some... That was a big mistake-y on their part. Alright. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because if you buffer the dash, basically it takes so long for the save to go off that if you land far right here, you're going to hit the door before the save actually goes off, and you're not going to get the hyperspeed. So you want to land. I just land as far left as possible, pretty much. It's not precise at all. You just... Anywhere on the left half of this platform is probably fine. Wait, what? Oh yeah, and then once you dash into the door like this, I just like tap left and then do a neutral dash, and then you fall right on top of those things. And oh fuck, the autosave, no. Whatever. The only other thing I was gonna say is when I'm doing the hyperspeed, I spam jump so that I can hopefully get my double jump out as early as possible, so I land on the ground sooner. And then as soon as I go through the teleporter, I spam dash, because once you get to this point, like, the dash is going to be faster than the hyperspeed because it's going to be such a short dash, you won't get to the end of it where it's slow. Oh no. the hell, dude? Okay, for this part, since it's going to take some time for the experience from this frog to magnet anyway, like, I fire one shot before I do this bash, and then, so that way it's guaranteed that he's going to die, like, as soon as the bash goes off, and I aim it so that I land on this wall here. You can do it so that you land here. It doesn't matter, though, because the experience most of the time is going to go everywhere, and you're going to have to wait around to magnet it anyway, and there's like a period of time where experience won't magnet after it comes out, so I just go here and do the wall jump. And you have to shoot him 2 times there to set this up. Yeah, make sure you get all of that experience before you do the dash. Dash glide off here with the dash cancel. I think you can like buffer this dash here. Yeah, you can buffer that dash just to get yourself closer to the left lantern here. The left side is in fact faster because the 2 reasons. These ones are so close together that you're hitting bash cooldown here, so, and this one's higher up, and this one's higher up than the other one, this one's lower than the one on the left. It's just the spacing on these and their position is much better for going up the left side. So since you only, in vanilla we climbed the right side because we didn't have dash. Now we have dash, so we can get over to the left side quickly enough. So, uh-oh. Nobody saw that. So if you're making this cycle right here, that means that you want to skip this fireball here because that just wastes 20 frames. Unless you can make this early cycle here, like grabbing this one when it's right before the spikes. I've never actually done that in BE, so I just skip the fireball to save the 20 frames. And if your movement is fast, then you would have to wait for the fireball anyway. But that movement around that section is just so awkward that I've never been able to do it optimally enough to get that cycle. What the fuck? So yeah, skip this fireball if it's not out yet. I do a wall run here and then just 2 jumps over to here. Dash, glide cancel to be able to wall run. And then I just do 1 wall jump here and then a double jump and then I jump over to the right. That allows you to aggro this guy sooner. And then this bash here, I just angle it slightly to the left. And then it makes that pretty easy to get. If that's scary, then you can just angle it straight up and that makes it easier.